This lesson is to show how to subtract fractions with different denominators. And most of the process is identical if you're adding, so I'm just doing subtraction because we didn't get to do subtraction in class so much. And the example that I'm going to use is 5/6 minus 5/8. And I'm going to do it both with getting the algorithm using golden rule, but I'm also going to show what some pictures might look like. Just shading rectangles and looking at equivalents that way. So I'm going to start actually with some pictures. So the first thing to kind of notice is that 5/6 is bigger than 5/8, because since 8 is a bigger denominator, the size of the pieces is smaller. And over here the pieces are bigger. And since you have the same number of pieces, 5 big pieces is greater than 5 small pieces. So that's going to be a little bit hard to see in my first drawing, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my hole, and so this is going to be my hole for 5/6, and over here I'm going to draw 5/8, and I'm going to take those away. In my 6th, I'm going to go sideways. So there's, cut that in thirds, and then that half in thirds. So there's my 6 strips, and I apologize for them not being even. And so when I say I have 5 of those, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost the whole, 5 out of the 6 pieces. That's almost one whole. And then over here, I'm going to do my 8ths up and down. So I did side to side horizontal lines for my 6ths, and I'm going to go up and down vertical lines for my 8ths. And you can kind of see it actually that the 8ths are a little bit smaller, because the thickness of these strips seems to be about the same, but the side to side are longer than the up and down, a little bit shorter. So you can kind of almost see that the strips are bigger on the 6ths. But so here's 5/6, and over here 5/8. The problem with doing this directly and just start subtracting now is because the size of the pieces is different, I can't really see what to take away from what. I'm going to take part of this piece and part of that. It just gets too confusing. And so what I do, kind of cleverly, and I'm not the one who's clever, I learned this from somebody else, but what you do is you say, well, okay, I've got 6 here. If I then go on this picture of 5/6 and draw lines to make 8ths the other way, now, and pardon me, I'm going to pause. Making a video, you can pause to sneeze so that the sneeze doesn't come on the video, which is convenient. But I'm going to go 8 the other way, so the other dimension 8, and what that in essence does is it multiplies the number of pieces that you shaded by 8. I used to have 5 strips, but each one of those strips has 8 little pieces inside of it, and so there's going to be a total of 40 gray little shaded pieces. But exactly the same thing is happening to all those 6 strips. All 6 of those strips, whether they were shaded in gray or not, there's 8 times as many little squares in there. So overall, this fraction has turned into 48. On the other side, I originally had 8 and 8 strips, 8 up and down columns, and what I'm going to do is go side to side with my 6. So I'm kind of careful. Thirds are hard. Getting halfway is pretty easy to estimate, but thirds to make 6 are pretty hard. But there I've got it, I think. And so I've got 6 on this dimension. So once again, where I used to have 5, now I've got 6 times as many gray pieces. I broke each one of those 5 up and down strips, shaded in gray, into 6 equal little boxes. In fact, every single up and down strip, whether it was shaded or not, has 6 times as many, or 6 little boxes in each strip, and so a total of 6 times as many little boxes. So now all of a sudden, 5/8 has turned into, let's see, 6 times 5, that's 30. 6 times 8 is 48. So, all right, now what I have to do is take away these 30 little boxes from those 40 boxes, and let me go blue. How about red? We don't want to go blue. So let's go red. So I'm going to take away 30. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So after taking away 30 48ths from 40 48ths, I'm left with just 10 48ths. Now the only problem with this is it's not simplified. 10 has a 2 inside, and 48 has a 2 inside. So I go one more step, and I say, all right, 10 is 5 times 2, and 48 is 24 times 2. Don't need the 2. Final answer is 5/24. What that brings you to is who needed the picture. Once you get kind of used to this, you go, oh, okay, I had 5/6 minus 5/8. If I just say, okay, I'll take the factor 8 from this denominator and multiply top and bottom of the first fraction by 8, and then I take the 6 from the second fraction and multiply top and bottom by 6 on the second fraction, I'll get 40 48ths minus 30 48ths is 10 48ths. They're 48ths. I'm just saying how many of them I had. I had 40. I took away 30. I'm left with 10. But the thing we're talking about is 48ths. And then getting rid of the 2. And get the 5/24. Really ultimately, who needs the picture? The picture is there to get a sense of what it is we're doing. And really, the numbers that come up are exactly the same whether you're looking at the picture you're drawing or not. So the other way, and sorry that there's so much here, this is already on the 9th minute, but the other way of kind of looking at this is, do you really need to go all the way to 48ths? And the answer is no, because if I look at multiples of 6 and then start looking at multiples of 8, just counting by 8ths, I notice that 24 is the least common multiple. I need multiples because without multiples without multiplying, you can't use golden rule. You can't get the same over same unless what you're doing is multiplying or correspondingly dividing. So this time I'm going to use 24. So when I set this up, I'm going to think 24. so here when I draw 5, 6, I'm ultimately going to think 24 is going to come out of here somehow. And when I draw 5/8, again I'm going to think 24. And so I'm going to go in gray to be kind of light about it. But I'm going to make my 24ths up here, like going half. Yeah, I'll just half, sorry, paused for thinking. Half, half, half. So now I have 8 pieces. And then cut those 8 pieces in thirds. And I'll have 24 pieces. There's 24 pieces. But I want to see the 6. So if I think about it, 6 goes into 24 4 times. So if just every 4 boxes, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finally 1, 2, 3, 4. I really do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces in my whole. Yes, they have sub pieces in them, but if I'm just thinking, great, there's 6, and so I'm going to shade the first 5 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5, 6. I'll do the same kind of thing with my 5/8. I'll go, okay, well I need 24. Fourths, eighths, dunk, 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 dunk. Oops, got a little sloppy there. Dunk, 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 dunk. Okay, so there's 24 pieces. But once again, how many times does 8 go into 24? Answer 3. So now I'm darkening every 3. And now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces that I'll shade the first 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we can really clearly see that 5/8 is less than 5/6. It's just not as much of that whole. But now what you do is you go, well, wait a minute, sure that's 5/8 and up above is 5/6, but now let's think about those gray lines. Those gray lines are making 5/6, so I'm going to do this in gray, making 5/6. Each of those 6 pieces has 4 pieces inside. So there's really, if I'm thinking of the gray lines as well, 4 times as many pieces in there. So I've got 20 24. So let me just make sure if I'm counting really every one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 out of 4 more is 24. So it is 20 out of 24. And then over here on the other one, over here on the downstairs, there's 3 in each one. So there's 3 times as many little pieces in here as the bigger eighths. And so 5/8 is really 15 24ths. And let me erase that one. It's kind of in the way. Oops, now I made a mess. Perfect. Okay, more or less that's right. Okay, cool. So I've got 20 24ths now to sort of summarize where we're at. Up above I've got 20 24ths. Down below I've got 15 24ths. I'm going to take 15 away from the 20 I have above. So alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and taking 15 away from the total 20 leaves us with 5 24ths, which is what we got originally, and didn't have to simplify. Notice this way we didn't have to simplify.